World of YouTube, Table Site here with another video on missing children. Although this is not a list on the state, I still gotta do one of them. I've been having some difficulties actually doing one of them because the state that I looked up on, mind you, was very hard to find some information on. They got so many pages that you have to go on. It makes it difficult to friggin' find which one is, very loyal and accurate. And of course, when I did Iowa, the unpictured people missing, and only their names came up is very disturbing to me. I also mentioned in one of my videos, and I think it was the missing children videos, and started talking about Amber Alerts. And I did make a video of that, of it on its own. Does it really work? Or when is the right time for that to be issued? Well, I'll tell you something. This case that I'm going to read to you is a perfect example of, does it work? And in this case, it's just say so, and I hate to say this, but it's only true. In this case, it was useless. And we're going to go over that, of course, and you'll understand why I say useless. Because not only did a father and a mother have a dispute, and things weren't working out. Obviously, the mother got custody. And this was updated in 2019. And it was published on November 21st, 2016. So remember these dates. Because when we get further into the story, this supposedly happened in 2010. So 6 years later, another story is published. But yet, all in all, and of course, this is the thing of laws need to be changed. And sometimes it's the question of, what is the Amber Alert for? Because if you use it, and if it's only good for, it's only good for one thing. And that is if you have information. If you have the, vehicle number, or let alone who the kid was last with. But yet, they reversed that on this. Because on this case, they used it improperly. It wasn't used properly. And if you don't have information, it's definitely useless. Because here we have these three young boys. And this is the taken on Thanksgiving, the unsolved disappearance of the Skelton brothers. I had this on my email from 2019 when I came up upon this story. Somehow I got busy and did not cover the case. But obviously it came up now for a reason. And that is because of something I said in a previous video. And go figure. Something dragged me to this case. And of course, that one thing is the Amber Alert. So let's get right into it. As you can see the boys here, what they look like. Far right is the oldest, middle, youngest. And on Thanksgiving Day, on November 25th, 2010, Tanya's 3 sons. 5-year-old Tanner, which I believe is left from right. 7-year-old Alexander, left from right. Middle. And 9-year-old Andrew, far right. Were under the supervision of their father, John Skelton. The siblings were last seen playing in their father's backyard in Michigan, Morenci, a small town just north of Michigan-Ohio border. Soon thereafter, the Skelton brothers vanished. Of course, never to be seen again. Years later. I had to check the plug. Their whereabouts remain a mystery. What happened to the Skelton brothers? So it goes on to say, an unemployed truck driver on September 13th and was awarded custody of 3 children. What followed was a nasty custody battle during which John picked up Tanner, Alexander, and Andrew, briefly fled to Florida. John was convinced to return with the children to Michigan. Despite such an alarming episode, John retained limited visitation rights. He continued to see the 3 boys with no issues throughout the fall and was granted the right to spend time with them for Thanksgiving holiday, which is the father right here. As you can see, doesn't look like a very stable person. And sometimes, of course, when people like this lose their kids, they intend, right, to do stupid things. But the more stupidness of this person really lets out a red flag. But the plan was for the boys to return to Tanya on November 26th. Trouble arose when they did not get dropped off. Tanya prompted Tanya to call John. He didn't respond. She checked John's Facebook page when he saw a cryptic update dated November 24th. It read, "May God and Tanya forgive me." Frightened, Tanya called the police. Now you would think right here, boom, contact them police. You contact, and at that, you don't go look at a friggin' Facebook page. All right? Because look what was there. I mean, if these 3 kids were supposed to be home at a certain day and a certain time, I would have already been on the phone. The guy already had, and this is the thing when people let their guards down. Oh, that person ain't going to do nothing. He's not going to do nothing. He might have a little episode, but that's it. No, it gets worse. If that guy already fled the state and took him to friggin' Florida, his intentions from that point on, you got to think like that person. It's only going to get worse. Because there he is trying to kidnap his kids. There he is, he lost his rights. There he is, a man of 3 boys. Probably sitting there thinking, I'm a man and I get my rights taken. The fury. And just like my father went to the grave, always saying about me and how I ran off with my mother. But I never ran off with my mother. My mother told my father we're going on vacation. She was going to go visit her mother in New York. All right. And then after that, I was in school. Year and a half later, I'm friggin' a full-time resident. And I'm thinking, wow, this is a long-ass vacation. So I never heard the end of it, but... And I think my father did get back to me the way he did, taking in this person with her other kids and trying to rub it in my face. I think he did do that. You know, I keep thinking about stuff like that sometimes, and try to think about kids and, parents like this. There's always, some scenario that happens in someone's life that's, and this is what makes me think like people like this. Because with the intention, this guy, and if you're reading this, he had done an attempt to hang himself and wanted the boys out of the house when he committed suicide. He thus asked Joanne to take the children away. John said he didn't have a phone number or address for Joanne. And he couldn't give a direct answer about where, the state of the country she lived in. So, with that being said, here he is having someone take his kids. But yet they did a search and it says it. That poorly discovered web searches for how to break someone's neck, poisoning. Couldn't find anything about Joanne Taylor. They also found suspicious items such as bottles of bleach, stain remover, and odor remover. Now an Amber Alert was issued. Now see, if this thing ain't put out at the right proper time, or let alone have the right proper information, and like I said in a previous video, this Amber Alert, when they put it out, it always mainly has either a parent or a friggin' another guardian or a family, or whatever the case, and then they got a license plate number. They ain't got it out when someone says, oh, my kids are missing. And this is what they did wrong with this Amber Alert. Now, instead of putting the Amber Alert on, which was probably too late anyways, because if he had them 2 days prior, which is the 24th, there's 2 days, and she only read it on the 26th when he was supposed to come home. Of course, no one thinks of this, but that Amber Alert should have been alerted right when that message was, read, even though it wasn't going to do nothing either. But why would they put an Amber Alert out now? And if he had all that information and all this stuff, and the kids are still not found, and he's sitting there saying, I was going to commit suicide, but yet he's still alive, all right. Got to put 2 and 2 together. Arrested and charged with 3 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of unlawful imprisonment, convicted, circuit, and what did he handed down, maximum sentence, 15 years of prison. Now, if anything, this guy should have got the death penalty. And this is another thing I say, which the laws should be changed. Because the last person that had the physical whereabouts of them kids, that's the one who should be charged, and should be charged for murder or the fullest, apprehensive stuff of the law, and burn his ass or anybody's ass. The last one known with that child or children should be the ones that get the full proper punishment, and that doesn't happen. 15 years? No, that should have been 3 counts of murder. And the boys are still alive and safe, he says. Samples are 99 years old, and thus could tipster did not belong to the missing boys. So, and this tipster knew about the case. So who knows what this guy had in on it or whatnot. But whatever the case may be, I tell you, this is, everything is done wrong. And for them to go to the friggin' guy's house, you know, it was obviously too late. Come out with he had 2 days to dispose of 3 bodies. So he could have driven somewhere, he could have did something somewhere in a local set of woods, and that ain't even said or read in this article. Wherever he put them bodies, and maybe he could have threw them in a dumpster. You know, the perfect crime and the perfect murder, and sometimes, like I say, one of the greatest detectives of all time, whether Sherlock Holmes was real or not, that person who made him was very highly intelligent. And to think like a killer, to catch the killer, is the main thing that was said back in one of them old movies, and I caught that in one of their scenes. And that's where I learned it from when I was a kid. I watched a lot of TV when I was young. He was one of them. I was always intrigued and plastered to the TV when he would be on. You know, mysteries like that always intrigued me and inspired me and, you know, made my imagination run wild. And maybe one day to try and catch someone. But, I mean, I gotta type in to see if there was any updates on this, if the bodies were ever found, and whatever happened to this piece of crap. Because, like I said, I stumbled upon this in 2019. So I just went through my emails. I sent it to myself in an email. And to find out, yeah, that it came up at the right time because of that Amber Alert. Does it work? Only if you have something in strong evidence. Is why it only works. Is the only reason why it works. It has strong evidence towards it. Quiet. They always have that, like I say, they have a vehicle number, or they have the name of the people, so if anything, insane, just insane. Everything is insane on this. But I'm gonna look up more on this and see if anything comes up. But that's it, folks. Poor 3 young lives ended because of the selfishness of a father. You know what? He should have just took his medicine and just stuck out what he was dealt his cards with. And 3 innocent boys should be still here and enjoying their lives, getting married, having kids, their own selves. Nope, selfish people do selfish things, and that's not right. But the Amber Alert, I don't know, folks. It's very, very just skeptical and just leads you to wonder why, you know, does it even really work? Sad to say, I don't think so. And this case proves it. Until the next video, be safe, take care, and always beware. You don't know when one of these piece of craps are gonna wind up coming alive and making themselves known in the wrong way of life and taking innocence. Sad. Let's give that moment of silence. Out.